Hey, what's up, all my Titan fodder out there? I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm back with another Attack on Titan chapter review. This time it's chapter 118, titled Surprise Attack. And it's very rare that you end up in a surprise attack with a multiple stories tall monster throwing rocks at you. You fucked. I'm just saying, man, if you're in a surprise attack like that, game over, man. Game over. As the Beast Titan continues to pelt the Marleyan blimps with rocks, sending many of them flaming and crashing to the ground as Yelena is just enjoying the symphony of destruction that the Beast Titan is bringing down like the gospel from on high. Meanwhile, Theo and Peck are still trying to fire upon the Beast Titan. Well, still, they're straight up trying to fire on the Beast Titan because they weren't expecting him to just show up like that. However, they're not able to get a good shot because, well, the Beast Titan's still throwing rocks like a monkey flinging its friggin' poo, just tossing all those rocks. And not to mention the Cart Titan has to not only dodge the attacks from the Beast Titan Zeke Yeager, but now Flock and his crew are also coming in to try to take on the Cart Titan. And, it's starting to look bad for the Marleyan forces. Porco, he's still kind of down for the count for the most part, and so is Reiner. They're pretty much out of commission for the most part. Meanwhile, as Eren starts to approach Zeke, Colt and Gabby are more interested in the fact that they need to save Falco. Colt is just like, yo, Gabby, you gotta stay behind. You gotta get out of here. There's a Zeppelin waiting on to the south. Head there, you'll be safe. And Gabby's like, no, I done fucked up. I got Falco in this piss poor situation. Let me get him out of here. I will join you. So Gabby really showing that she's starting to own up to the person she's been up to this point and starting to come around to just being a better person in general. Fuck all you people who said Gabby would never grow or learn anything. Of course that's what was going to happen. That's what we were setting up. It was obvious from her introduction. Meanwhile, the various prisoners who have been captured, including Falco, Nile Dolk, all of them, they're just screaming and begging to be let out. And, Nile, and Falco get to really start talking about the fact that, Falco has people he wants to see, and Nile is just like, I have a family, I don't want to be turned into this monster, I want to see my daughters and all that. And he's just worried about the fact that with one scream, bam, he's gone. He's a Titan, and there's nothing left of his humanity. He might as well be dead at that point because there's no coming back from being a Titan unless you eat someone with Titan shifter ability. Meanwhile, Onyakopon actually comes back for our main crew to help get them out, and he actually begs them to help save not just Zeke but Eren as well, because there's from Oyakopon's point of view, at least originally, he's outnumbered. He's not capable of doing this on his own, so he feels that he needs the backup of his friends, air quotes, in full swing. But Connie ain't having none of that shit. Connie is fed up with all the constant betrayal, left, right, up, down, and he's just not having Onyakopon shit. Because from his point of view, Onyakopon was just another traitor lying in wait. He sights off Reiner, Boltar, Annie, Eren, just every turn, every way where he looks, he's being betrayed. And I tell you, I cannot blame Connie for just losing his shit, because Connie, it just feels like everything everything upon thing after thing just keeps falling in on him. Because hell, after what happened to his village, there was only a select number of people he had left who he could truly trust. That main group was his family for the most part. After what happened to his village, and with the stuff that went down with Aaron and all that other stuff, it was Aaron and the loss of Sasha. Just Connie's friggin' losing it, man. But it takes Jean to just really say, well, actually, Armin is the one who originally steps in and just like, hey, listen what he has to say. And Onyokapon says, look, I didn't know about the wine. I didn't know about this mercy killing bullshit. I had no idea. I'm telling you, you gotta believe me. And, at first, Connie's very much in disbelief, but in comes Niccolo, who's just like, listen, Yelena told us not to tell anyone about the wine, especially not the volunteer soldiers. So a lot of these volunteer soldiers were in the dark about a lot of this stuff, but then you get to a point where it's just like, well, we've already kind of deep in the shit. Why not just keep going with it? And Oyakapun's just like, look, man, I didn't want any of this mercy killing bullshit. Paradise Island was supposed to be a place that we would develop alongside you. This was supposed to be we came to this island to, devote ourselves to you, to getting back our people. We believed in this island's future, that children were the future, and he's just like, oh, no more children for us. No, we didn't fight just for this nihilistic idea. We wanted to fight to live, to continue on our very species. It renders everything we've done up until this point meaningless if they go through with this bullshit plan. And while a lot of them have their reservations about what Onyokapon is saying, Armin kind of comes through because of the fact that Onyokapon talked about, God, faith, religion, all that good shit, where he talked about the fact that Onyokapon believed in a meaning to their existence, that there are different kinds of people with different kinds of ideological, I don't know how to say that word, but different ideals, I guess I should say. And Onyokapon really opened up in a way that Armin could really just get behind for the most part. So for the most part, they kind of, give Onyokapon the benefit of the doubt. But, Jean's just like, well, you talked about helping Eren. That would be helping their plan, but Onyokapon's like, look, we can't let them fall into Marley's hands. What they're doing is shit. But if Marley gets involved, shit really turns up to 11 at that point. So we cannot allow them to gain the abilities of the Founding Titans. But, ultimately, they don't, his plan is to show off the earth-flattening weapon like they originally planned, just to show their might to the rest of the world for the most part. And, everyone kind of has their doubts. So Armin asks Mikasa, what do you want to do? Do you want to go and help Eren? And Mikasa's faith is shaken. Everything she knows about herself is shaken at this point. Like, Eren pulled a real number on her. And she starts to wonder, is my want to help Eren just because of my Ackerman blood, or is it of my own will? And I still feel that whole spiel was BS, but we'll find out eventually. And even Armin is just like, no, that had to be a lie. And because he feels that Eren, that can't be what Eren wants. This can't truly be Eren's plan. It doesn't make sense. It feels impossible with everything we've gone through, with everything we've been through. He has to be playing the long game for the most part. Because of everything that Yelena said, because of everything that Zeke said, there has to be something deeper here. Armin is looking for the angle because it just doesn't make sense. And it's like I've been saying, for Eren to change so much of his ideals and his mindset and everything that he thinks, for it to just be flipped on its head like this over the span of a year, because we saw a year before and then a year after with Eren, and it's just like it's too much of a change, and that's why I personally have to be with Armin. There's got to be more to it than just that. There really has to, because I just can't believe it. I just can't bring myself to believe it. So it's just like, look, we'll join up with Eren, try our best to believe in him, and set off that small sample of the earth flattening ability, and hopefully Paradise Island will be held off by enemy forces for at least 50 years. That, and Jean very reluctantly kind of agrees that he doesn't want Eren to die. He still wants to be there for him. There's a part of him that still wants to be there for his friend. And Connie kind of just wants a little bit of revenge. Just to deck him just once. Just once. I gotta get him in the face just once. So they release Sasha's family, have Niccolo, lead them to safety. And Mikasa's still kind of questioning Connie as they run off. It's just like, why did he do this? Why would he push us away like this? Why would he say that he hates me? Why would he say any of this? And Armin thinks about that one time when they finally made it to the sea, and the way Eren looked. Something in Armin just triggered, where he just can't believe that same person who stared out at the sea with such wonder and amazement, he just can't bring himself to believe it. Something in him just feels that it's not true. They race off, and Armin says he had to have forced himself. It had to be better that he push us away. There had to be something more. And as the main cast, make their way upward, they run into the, young recruits who betrayed Shadis, beat him up and all that. And they're just like, hey, as, the young recruits hold him at gunpoint, they, Gion's just like, listen, we're going to go help your master Jaeger. You either, shoot us and kill us, or you die trying to stop us. And so they start just opening up all the cells, because the recruits are green and they're not ready for the intensity of all that. And so they find Shadis beaten and bruised and bloody, and they find Pixis, who takes command for the most part, because ultimately they still have to defend themselves. Marley is still an enemy and a threat that has to be pushed out. Pixis is just like, look, everyone, if we have a limited number of 3D maneuver gear, and those without black armbands will be given equipment so that they're better escape, because they are the future for the most part. They will be able to make it through that. Those with armbands, we're disposable. We might as well be dead. So take up arms and we'll fight off the opposing forces as much as we can. And that's the plan. Just fight as much as they can. And as Mikasa gets her, maneuver gear and all that good stuff, she runs into Louise, the young girl she saved all that time ago, who, kind of did her dirty to a certain degree. And while Louise is nothing but glad to see Mikasa, Mikasa just has this very melancholic air to her. She gave up her main reason for living, for the most part, the one thing that just kept her pushing forward, and she ends up leaving behind her scarf for the first time ever. Mikasa just leaves it behind, which is just heavy to see, just really heavy to see. Like, this was everything to Mikasa, and she just leaves it behind as she's just turning her back on Eren. And as Connie, Armin, Mikasa, Jean all come out with their, whole bunch of lightning spears, they run into Yelena just sitting on one of the, on the wall of the building, and she's just, averts their gaze upward to see the various blimps just coming down from the attack from Zeke. Um, she says that, hey, that's the plan. They're blocking off the various exits and all that so that the military, the Marleyan military, will have nowhere to go, and that they'll be completely pinned down. And as Eren continues to walk towards Zeke, in comes Reiner and his, armored Titan form to try to chase down Eren, only for him to be bombarded by another volley from the Beast Titan, and he's basically done. Reiner's just basically done, and kind of even says, just like, does he even need our help? And John asked the $1,000,000 question, like, wait, if Zeke's here, what happened to Levi? And Yelena just simply says, oh, well, Yelena, Levi and Hanji. And Yelena says, oh, yeah, probably killed him. That's what probably had to happen in order for Zeke to come here at the agreed upon time. And as everyone starts to kind of lose their shit for a moment there, Armin does his best to salvage the situation, just, play it off, just say, oh, their passing was unfortunate, it couldn't be helped, so Zeke and Eren could possibly save the world, we need to go and help them out too. And I shit you not, this look that Yelena gives Armin, just be like, oh, are you serious about this? Like, she gives him this intense look that I would shit myself right there and then if someone looked at me like this. I'd pass the fuck out. Like, she looks more terrifying than any Titan out there at that moment. But then she puts on this nice little face where she's just overly excited, just like, oh, please help Zeke and Eren. I really trust you, Armin. I'm like, either Yelena is fully ready for Armin's betrayal, or she's just that fucking nuts. Meanwhile, as Colt leads Gabby, to try to find Falco, they actually do end up running into Falco and Neil Dolk. But, Colt is ready to gun down Neil just to get him Falco out of the hands of an enemy soldier. But Gabby actually tells him to wait, as Neil actually leads Falco to Colt and Gabby and hands them off. And, they just say their goodbyes then and there. I was actually glad because we didn't have a needless death, but, when Colt, gives a hug to his younger brother, he's just like, Gabby, why did you trust the enemy soldier? And Gabby just has this look like she's just still trying to rationalize everything in her mind, like, yeah, that's a good question. But they end up all hiding when they hear some footsteps, and it's Niccolo leading out Sasha's family. And, for the most part, Sasha's family are just asking, like, Mr. and Mrs. Blouse are just hoping that, Falco and Gabby made it out and are okay. And Gabby starts to tear up because they still care about her. And she starts to cry, and, like, she seems to want to, start to get up to maybe go see them. And then Kaya just says something that almost, like, you can almost see the dagger stab through Gabby's heart, where she's just like, why on earth would you be worried about her? She killed Sasha. I will never forgive her. I'd kill her if I could. And Gabby just has this look afterwards of just defeat, like, it just washed over her, the actual repercussions of what she did, where she really has to think that she killed someone who mattered to another person. And, Gabby kind of lets it all out in front of Falco. Just says, there were no real devils on this island, were there? There were just people. And, Reiner's words earlier, where he just kind of felt conflicted about the people on Paradise, I understand him now. We convinced ourselves about the people that we never saw, that we never knew, who we never interacted with. They were just monsters. And, they were devils to be killed, and I went on that Zeppelin, and I just kept killing. I attacking over and over again because I thought they were monsters. God, I'm so sorry, Falco. You understood it better than any of us, and you got involved in my mess, my spiral of hate. And Falco says, hey, well, I made mistakes too. I, met up with Aaron Yeager when he was in the hospital. I delivered all these letters for him, and I basically initiated the rebel attack. It's basically my fault that Udo and Sophia are dead. And Falco decides to just tell Gabby that he loves her, and the only reason he came into the Warrior Squad was because he wanted to keep Gabby from gaining the power of the Armor Titan, because he wanted Gabby to marry him and have a long and happy life with him and all that. And they both end up blushing, but Falco's just like, well, I'm probably gonna be turned into a Titan at any moment because of the wine, so honestly, that just might be the end of me. I don't want to leave anything unspoken between us. But Gabby, determined now to actually preserve life rather than end it, rips off the black armband that Falco's wearing to symbolize him as someone who has drunk the tainted wine. She's just like, no, let's go. Let's get out of here. And Colt even thinks that maybe if they let Zeke know that he drank the spinal fluid, they'll be able to keep him from screaming out. And as John, Connie, Armin, and Mikasa, engage in this gunfight with the Marleyan forces, they can't get close to Eren. As the Jaw Triton tries to go in on Eren, once again, with that long-range attack, the Beast Titan holds him off. So there's just nothing that they can do. And, Zeke's just like, soon, Eren, in just a little while, our dream will come true. And then he notices that the Cart Titan seems to have been taken down. And as Flock's forces get in close, a lot of these dumbasses are just like, oh man, how did you... Flock's just like, okay, which one of you guys took it down? And the other guy's like, what? I thought it was one of you guys. And it was just like, well, if you didn't kill the Cart Titan and I didn't kill the Cart Titan, then who's steering the BAM! Blast to the head, dead. And all these enemy soldiers just pop right on out. It's obvious that Theo is aiming the still propped up gun towards the Beast Titan, and he fires, blasting a hole right towards where Zeke's back is for the most part, blowing at least a huge chunk out of Zeke, much to the shock of everyone. And the Beast Titan falls to the ground, and it starts to look like, hey, maybe Theo got him. Maybe that's the end of the Beast Titan. And, Theo's just like, okay, everyone, move the fuck in. I can't get a good shot. Take him down before he gets back his consciousness, or make sure he doesn't have any more left in him before he has the chance to use the scream. And that's where our chapter ends. Very intense, very overwhelming chapter. Just a lot of emotion and just shifting of where the flow of the battle is going. And, is he going to let out the scream? Is that going to be the end of it? How many people will turn? Will this be the end of Falco? Will Gabby get caught up in the blast? Will her path to redemption actually mean anything in the long run? And what about Armin's idea that maybe, Eren was doing this for a purpose, for a reason? Because, I want to believe that as well. I really want to believe that Eren is doing everything that he's been doing for a specific reason. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I believe there has to be something, but I can't justify it, honestly. It's just because the way he's been acting, it's just too drastic, too fast. That's my only belief. I really wonder. And what of Mikasa, now that she's basically lost all faith in Eren? And will that faith come back at a critical moment? We just might never find out. It's a lot of hard hitting stuff here, but tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Where you think the future chapters will head in? What direction will they end up going in? Leave me a like if you like this video, or leave me a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe and hit the bell icon, that way you never miss out on another Attack on Titan chapter review. And if you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I am everywhere, for better or for worse. And until the next video, just remember, sometimes you need a little blind faith to really get you through the trying times. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm going to bed. Bye-bye.